Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 Podcast Reviews Edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my best friends. I am going to start with the man who woke up at an ungodly hour to hang out with us and chat TVs, movies, and all the fun stuff. Arnie, how's it going?
Hello, hello. I am, I don't know, doing my best
What is that?
Thanos impression.
That's
What's up,
not
what's up,
Thanos.
what's up?
uh,
Hey,
Thanos.
uh,
Thanos.
uh, Alongside with us also is our other bestest best friend. Chubax, how you doing?
Hello, hello. Happy to be back. It's been a while, and excited to talk some Squid Games.
Yeah, so as aforementioned, in this week's episode, we are discussing the second season. We're essentially, season two, part one of
Mm.
Squid Games. A very cool show that dropped on Netflix on December 26, 2024. All seven episodes came out that day, so you could have binged it with us when it dropped. But we are discussing it a few weeks later, so we have a little bit more time to absorb the themes and the Easter eggs of that particular season. If this is your first time watching us, we are plus 63 HP. We have a stable of podcasts and content that you could either listen to your preferred podcasting app on your phone or watch on YouTube, youtube.com/plus 63 HP. We also record and stream our recordings during the weekends whenever we do our taping. So Saturday and Sunday morning Philippine time, anywhere between 9:30 to 12 Philippine time, or 10:30 to like 1 Philippine time, and 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/plus 63HP. Housekeeping done. Going back to our main topic of discussion, um, Squid Game Season 2. Uh, a few highlights before we dive into the episode by episode synopsis. Uh, the first 3 day tally of Squid Games, well, season two in particular, it was 68 million views, which
Wow.
actually was the highest, uh, uh, exceeded the highest premiere of a first season or like a season of Netflix show. So it beat Wednesday. So Wednesday was the previous record holder, having 50.1 views during its first 3 days of release. So Squid Game season two was also ranked number one in 92 countries. Um, Despite like the overwhelming agreement that it's generally inferior than season one, but it's still pretty good. So that's kind of like a nice twist to something
Mhm.
where the sophomore slump as we hear it. Sometimes we just have to accept that there are like some seasons that are just like too good that it's hard pressed to be able to be close to it. So um those were the few stats that we have for season two. Before we go episode by episode, gonna go around table for our initial non-spoilery reaction for Squid Game season two. I'll start with Arnie. What you think?
I'm actually impressed because I was nervous about season two after the classic of a season one, right? Um, I think it started slowly or slower, but it's a solid season. I like it. Too short, I would just say. It's too short.
Chubax?
For me, I wouldn't really call this a sophomore slump. It's still. I agree that you said like it's still a drop, but that's just because the first one was really like the high, and it's a drop, so you can still call it a slump, I guess. But in terms of when you really say slump, it's like really bad. Usually like
Yeah.
especially like they use that in sports also. But yeah, this was really good. My only complaint is I don't think they should have called this season two and
Exactly.
season
Yep.
Mm.
three. It should be
Mm-hmm.
season two part one because
Mm-hmm.
it really was. It wasn't like the first season. I mean, if they cut the first season really in. in like a cliffhanger, then we're used. I'd be used to, like, oh, it's always like this, like we're gonna end in a
Mm.
cliffhanger and stuff. But the first season was pretty much, good. I mean, it was obvious that it was leading to something, but it wasn't
Yeah,
a cliffhanger.
it's standalone. It's
Yeah, yeah,
standalone.
it is standalone. So this one was really like half, like season two
Half.
part
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
So that was my only complaint. I didn't think it would, because the way season one set us up, I didn't think we would that would happen with season two. So, and then when it did,
Mm.
that was the only thing that, like, kind of shit. Okay, so we have to wait for more. So, but aside from that, I loved it. Yeah, I think the slump wasn't really because the quality dropped. I think it's just that there were more lovable characters in season one. But there's
Mhm.
The
this one
element of surprise,
Yeah.
right? You
yeah,
can't beat the element of
yeah, that's
surprise.
true. But
Yeah.
and also, like, everybody, a lot of, like, most of the core in season one was immediately, like, likable and relatable, and in season
Mhm.
two they became likable and relatable, and I like that the growth of the characters and how, like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
I love them, but it wasn't like the whole season were like, oh, this is our
Yeah.
cast, you know.
Yeah.
So I do, in the end, I did love the main characters, and surprised where
Mm.
the story brought them, and we'll discuss as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it still, and coming into it, Squid Game's first season was a culture changer when it came out, because
Mhm.
like we've seen plenty of Hunger Games, like plenty of battle royale type
Yeah.
shows and movies in the past decades, but there's just a certain level of alchemy for Squid Game season one, because we didn't know how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
We didn't have ideas on how the games were gonna be like up until the end. Like we were thinking, it was like there's a certain part of me was like, was this just a dream, or was he already dead? It was the entire time. Um, and even they weren't heavy on the organization that kind of runs the Squid Games at some point, because the the crux of the season, or most episodes, is the psychology behind people still going through the games, trying to survive the games, and why were they in the games in the first place. So that was surprising. So I knew, coming into a second season, knowing all of that, I knew it wasn't going to blow us away. So I just want to be entertained. I don't want it to undo all of the good credit that they've done the first season. And for me, for the most part, apart from a few slow areas, like, but I understand that's just how Korean TVs are made. It's a little long on the exposition, a little long on pretty much everything. So aside from that, I was very happy. But I agree with Shabaks. I wish the branding was different. I wish it was like
Mhm.
final season part one, final season part two. That would have been better, because we all knew that they shot season two and season three at the same time.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So they said, so I wish that the reports came out and said, like, hey, they were just intending for one last season, but it was a little too many episodes. It's like four episodes over, so they broke it into two. That would have been better,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
I hate cliffhangers.
Mhm.
Absolutely hate it. I think that's the benefit of having picked up for another season. You can do these things like this, because if you don't know, like season one was could have been could have ended there, because they wrote it as if they didn't know they're gonna get a second season. So they weren't going to leave too many cliffhangers behind.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the only thing too, because you know we seven is kind of like an odd number of episodes to drop. I think it's a little too many for a half, but a little too small for like a full. Like, do like a 4 episode part one, or 6 episode part one, or something like that, instead of like 7 episode second season. But luckily, season three is gonna come out this same year. We don't know whether it's summer or around the holiday season again, but we're not gonna wait too long. So let's go quickly through the episodes and feel free to jump in because I'm just gonna do the very, very top level analysis of the episode. But luckily, Squid Games, when you describe it, it's very simple. Because a
Hmm.
lot of the what's happening will be the interaction between the players. So, um, see, episode one is called Bread and Lottery. This is, I think, a very, very long exposition episode. But we see that Sung Gi Hun is now years after winning the first his first Squid Games. He's like determined to look for not only the front man but the recruiter. So he wants to go back to the island. Oh, he doesn't want to go back to the island. He wants to close everything down by capturing the recruiter. So he actually is uh he has hired not only his former loan shark but his former loan shark's lackeys to just go throughout Seoul and find the recruiter. So that's kind of great. After a huge portion of the episode showing how most people either don't believe him, think he's crazy, think it's just a delusion of his. But more and more as the time progresses, Song Gi-hun was able to win over at least a majority of the lackeys and the launchers, particularly because they're getting paid regular
Yeah.
wage to do regular stuff.
And but
Um,
also credit to the writing, they made us care for these loan sharks who at season one were looked like
Hmm.
bad guys, you know.
and it also makes sense that like that's the only person that he knows,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
right?
And
Right?
I talked to this with Joe already, but I love that they're leaning into Gihon. He's not smart, so
He's not smart.
and they didn't change it up for this season. And like, I like how it can look annoying, but I love it. Like they took time. Well, like
Hmm.
his plans were not fleshed out, so he spent money and time, and like it took years to get
Yeah,
this
but
plan
also it's
going
like
to
the idea of
find.
it, like if I'm already a regular person, I have no access to, and then police and something will be not believing me.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna use my loan sharks, dudes. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah. And the thing is,
uh,
the way he argued, like, well, have you noticed all these people that owe you money kept disappearing? So I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. And it also it's like, he's the only one that owes me money that paid me back. It's like you are a very bad loan shark then.
Yeah.
Um, but
But
eventually, like, so there's a lot of exposition around how crazy Giyun sounds, but also how it makes kind of sense.
Mhm.
How he won over the loan shark to help him out in this particular quest. But essentially, they amped up the getting close to the time of year
oh,
where the games had happened. Giyun eventually amped up the search, doubled, quadrupled the number of lackeys searching um station by station and getting like reports. I like that part too. It's like my question though is like, why does he have so many phones?
I know.
So it's like he has so many phones set up on his Hyundai van. Was it like, all right, the first this region, these 10 lackeys will send me to this phone. It's like that's too many phone numbers. Just like get a laptop, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
but
but
yeah,
in
I
an
like
event,
I like the reporting with the picture,
yeah,
time and place.
Mm.
So they weren't fucked. Because at first I was like, What's stopping them from just fucking you over?"
just
But yeah, he
just
was
saying the
smart.
identity. Yeah.
He wasn't smart. It was just logical. So I liked it.
So the there's a bunch of that has happened, but ultimately we find the recruiter playing that Pog Slammer game.
Tabaki or something.
The main loan shark and the main lackey followed the recruiter, but um, they were trying to. That's a good thing too. Like traffic is bad. You can't just say like, "Oh, I found the recruiter," and then Gion suddenly pops up. Now it took a little time for Gion to like catch up to them, but uh, unfortunately, the main loan shark and the lackey was able to be abducted by um
The recruiter.
the recruiter, um, and then they were placed into a game of a deadly kind of like rock paper scissors game combined with the Russian roulette game. Inevitably, what happens is the recruiter was uh, killed the main loan shark, let the quote unquote winner of that particular game, the main lackey, um, off until Gion was able to kind of find them, right? He was able to
Hmm.
find them, or at least find the. Oh, no, no, no. What happened was um, Gion went back to the base, and that's where the recruiter was, so that they could kind of um, have a chat in terms of how getting more information about the games through. For them, they played awesome game of Russian roulette. Uh, this is a good setup
Yeah.
for me because the idea of, yeah, there was a time there where you don't have to play Russian roulette. You just shoot the other person, and
Yeah.
then you can get the thing, which is particularly now a key um, to do anyway. But the point was, uh, Gion wanted to see whether the recruiter was going to follow by his own rules also, but conversely, like Gion wanted to kind of like fight them at their turf. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, question: the way I understood Russian roulette is that you is one bullet you spin, and then 1 out of 6, and
Mhm.
then becomes 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4. They modify the rules, right, for this one to make it
Yeah,
more.
Well,
typically you spin it every time, but this
Yeah.
one there's no spinning.
Yeah. Because the way I understood it is like the more you play, the more likely you'll get shot, right? Because your odds are decreasing, right? But this one they kept adding more, and then of course the reverse is like, okay, let's put
no,
five bullets and
at the
then one.
start, he was spinning it every time.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then he got tired and then he reversed the odds and he put 5 bullets.
Hmm.
And it was
Yeah.
it didn't even take more than one shot. As soon as he
Yeah.
put 5 bullets, it was already over.
Yeah. So it was interesting, like making Russian roulette more interesting, right? So it's more that,
Because the
and
Russian
then
roulette I know is the one they did at the end,
yeah, that's basically
where it's
just
just
one bullet,
one bullet and then spin
and then
it
you count
and
down.
then shoot, 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 shoot.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, and then yeah,
My one, the one that I know is also one bullet, and then but every shot you spin it again,
Because I
uh,
so
think
you can have an infinite number.
yeah,
the first time I saw it was uh Samuel L. Jackson movie with a student,
yeah,
right? I think they
yeah, I
put two
think so. Yeah,
bullets
yeah,
and then but it's only one spin and then
yeah,
they passed each other and then at
yeah,
the end Samuel killed himself and then the students
yeah,
honoring the bet still shot himself and there was the bullet there so they both died.
yeah.
I don't
That's
remember
tough.
the movie.
I
Yeah,
think it was like
I should
one in
check it
seven or
out.
something.
yeah. But anyway, so like yeah, so that recruiter actors, I saw a meme like that. He's the only guy who could show two emotions, or the face shows two emotions, like scared half to
That
death and then
recruiter like
psychotic.
the Gong Yu man, he made that
Yeah,
recruiter so awesome. Like
yeah.
he
See,
it in such a short screen time, he really
yeah, and
squeezed
even the
every
back,
fucking charm he could in that.
Even in the first season,
like even the backstory that he said, right? Like, so this one, it sounded like that this guy was either psychotic to begin with, or there was some domestic or family
No, I
abuse
think
that he was.
what they showed was like he's kind of like twisted, but he
Hmm.
stuck to it. Like he knew
yeah,
what he
but
was. He followed the
he used
rules.
to
He
be
made his own rules.
he
He
used to
used to be a
be
guard, a
Yeah,
a
Squid Game
guard. He
guard.
does
Yeah.
he was
yeah,
the one of the incinerators.
yeah. So he's like
So
a lawful chaotic, I guess, or chaotic,
lawful evil, some maybe.
Yeah,
lawful evil.
I
Yeah,
think yeah.
but yeah, plus the whole lottery and bread. while it was predictable, and I mean, I dealt with a lot of the unhoused or homeless people.
You know, just fucking
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised that most of them picked the lotto instead of just getting the bread. But
So we skipped that part. So the reason why the title of the episode is Bread and Lottery. The recruiter, the way one of the tests slash the way that he's recruiting people, or maybe it's also something that you just like get his Joneses off is how
mm,
to he was going to homeless people and giving them an option, bread or a lottery ticket. So you can have food right now, satiate your hunger, or you can get a chance for a bigger payout. And majority of the people, like a huge majority, like 80% of the people,
mm,
took the lottery ticket and were hungry. And then he had little a spat where he destroyed all the bread to show them like, hey, you're the ones who wasted an opportunity to be hungry. That's why you
yeah,
deserve to be punished, and that's why you're poor. So that's
yeah,
one of the tests that we're having here right now. Quickly through see episode 2. It's entitled Halloween Party, which is Halloween party in Korean. Um, Essentially, Gihun was working with some mercenaries that was recruited by the head lackey too, or like the loan shark.
hmm,
And then he also put a tracker on himself in one of his molars to be able to be the plan B, whether
such a
when
stupid.
if and when they can't catch the front man. So at some point, they were able to know when this meet was gonna happen. It was gonna be at the bar, at a bar. That's why at a Halloween party. But of course, that place where they were going to hunt either other people from the games got turned around, and then Gion was the one abducted as well. So there's a little bit of chase between the mercenaries and the people handling the games, but in the end, Gi-hoon, who was escorted into a limousine, presumably being driven to his death, instead, knowing now that his team will be able to follow him because they were kind of like tricked. Even if his team was in pursuit, they weren't going to get there in time to save him. He speaks with the front man through a speaker, which is also in front of the car. Uh, and then he kind of like negotiated that instead of killing each other right now or killing him right then and there in the limousine, it'll be more exciting for the people that are watching the horses in this particular game to see a former player return in the game. So that was kind of like the main A story of episode 2. The cooler B story of episode 2 and 1 2 is like we've been following this girl that is a
mm,
defector from North Korea,
hmm,
amongst other storylines of the other contestants as well. But we were particularly following this North Korean defector, Kang Nul. Um, she's been working in an amusement park, saving up a lot of money, and then providing the one fixer to one kind of loan shark as well.
hmm,
Um, Trying to find the daughter that she left behind. All right.
hmm,
She also has a little storyline about this like little girl that adored her during the while being in the amusement park, and then that little girl got lost in backstage and saw all the mascots head off. So that's kind of like a nice trick, nice kind of like symbolism of how everybody's pretending to be, even if they're miserable, you have to pretend to be happy in an amusement park or in a game like Squid
yeah,
Game. Um, Nice twist towards the end at during the entire time we were all thinking, I was still thinking that this person, okay, you need money to find your daughter, you're a North Korean defector, um you're gonna be one of the contestants, but in the end we
yeah,
realized that she's not one of the contestants. She's actually one of the guards who is like kind of like,
Yeah.
And from the
uh,
way it looked, she's been there before, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
this is like sixth,
She's
seventh year.
yeah.
Mm. So it
That
just seems
was
that
amazing
she
part.
left, but because since she needed money, she had to go back again. But that was like a nice part that we're not only seeing Gi-hoon, the main protagonist, we're not only seeing other contestants, but we are seeing a very different side to Squid Games now, but one of the people that are working it, particularly this pink guard that is, we'll know what she'll be doing in the next episode.
Yeah.
Uh, Episode 12 is entitled 001. Basically, we start back at the dormitory with 455 other players, along with Gi-hoon, which is back at 456. Um, it, we start with a game, the red light, green light game, which a lot of people did not necessarily like. This one is nice because like the people were a little bit more vocal in terms of why they were there, where are their phones.
Yeah.
They were a little bit more oblivious, much like the last episode. The people never really, people aren't gonna take it seriously until somebody dies in front of their face.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted to kind of like immediately back in the game. But this is an episode where, an opportunity to kind of highlight a couple of more important players, much like uh, Thanos player 230, which was a rapper that has a drug problem. There's also Gihun's best friend is also there. Um, there's a pretty lady that is going to be highlighted a little bit, only to be kind of like killed towards in the game. There's a bunch of other players that they were kind of highlighting here, but this is a way to show like, right, Gyun was giving instructions how so more people will survive the red light, green light. Things
This
that we
was
didn't
pretty
see the
cool.
last season, right? Which is
I
covering
liked
the
how he
map,
did it.
not moving. So that's the idea of
Which is
the
funny too because I don't think the sensor can sense the mouth from the way it's
Mhm.
looking. The way
Yeah.
it's looking at the profile, the
Yeah,
outline.
Yeah.
But again,
yeah.
Yeah.
the players don't know that, so
The
it
players
was
don't
it
Yeah.
know
was pretty
that.
good.
Um, and then yeah, they were able. There was a couple of cute, different newer scenes so that we can see it at the perspective of Nul, which is 011, which is the guard, um, where yeah, we're brought back to additional information because last year we see that there's like an organ forming ring.
Yeah.
So the justification here was why, let them not die in vain, right? So at least this death can save somebody else, but also they're making money off of it. That's one. But
Yeah.
Null being like a job being an exterminator, he's seeing like, oh, there are some guards that are trying to just injure people and not particularly kill them so they can harvest their organs. But now Null was like, nope, I'ma kill everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is a sinner.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, I like how how the frontman is smart because we know Gion isn't. So frontman knew that Gion being there can fuck his game up. So what did he do? The first major change is they can all split the money. Any survivors. Because in the first one it was only one.
Yeah.
So that way Gion
no, in the first one they could still split it.
no, only one.
No,
Only
no,
It's
one
a,
no,
wins.
no, no.
no,
During that it was in the
in the
season.
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in the contract never changed. If you decide to leave, everybody's gonna split the money.
Yeah. Like the first vote. The first vote.
Up until whenever you want.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like
I
in the
don't
second
remember.
season, they're now allowed to vote after each game.
Yes,
In the first season, it's just like, okay, after
It
game
was one
one,
vote, diba?
just
one
one
vote.
vote.
One vote.
So if you decided not to come back, you get to keep your share of
Mhm.
the money.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kaya nga, but
So
then after that, they couldn't split the money anymore
They
when they came
could
back.
have. Well, they
No
could have
na.
if you survive, but the thing is, in the end, just
No,
because it's
it's
just the two of them.
yeah.
No, like Here they implied right now in season
No,
two they
see,
implied that.
it's saying season one can only have one winner.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's only after the first vote. So
But there
if
was a
they
vote after the first game.
yeah, there was a vote after the first game. If you
After the
come
first
back,
game, they said you can leave right now, but
yeah,
they didn't, so they kept continuing.
yeah.
Oh, nga, but they couldn't
So
split the money. They didn't
they
split the money after the first vote. There was no money yet. They had to leave.
you know, I'm not sure,
They would have
but I
split.
was
The games gave them 45 million
no
amongst
no.
them.
It's the pot, the current pot
Oh,
from the people
the
that
small
died.
one.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
why they
don't
yeah,
didn't
even
want it.
remember that. But even still,
yeah,
it's the biggest changes that all of them can split it every
yeah.
game.
Yeah, so now it's implied.
Which fucks Gion's argument. Because
Yeah,
if they stuck to the rules of the first game, Gion would have gotten them out of there immediately.
yeah. Yeah, because in it
In
is
the
implied now in the current rules. Hey,
That they can stop
everyone,
each game and they
they
can
could
split
stop
the
each
pot
game,
and they can split the
and
pot.
there's a chance that everybody could finish the entire game, like all five games, right? Versus in season one, that's just like only one winner has to. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's only
they
one
did kind
winner.
of say it's only one winner. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so there's that, and also, well, we'll find out later in the episode. The player one is frontman. But yeah, but wait, remind me. So the player one from season one, the old guy, is old ill, or
Yeah,
is his name
something
also
like
It
young
that.
ill?
seems, yeah, it seems like that's why the title is 001, because in this particular episode, we are introduced with 001, which essentially was the front man.
Yeah,
Which last year wasn't the front man, he was the owner, he was the creator
yeah,
of Squid Games, who's about to die.
And I like the
yeah,
twist that it's opposite. Like the twist in the first one was that we found out that 001 was part of the games, and then
mhm,
in season two, you immediately know that
yeah.
nobody knows,
But
but us, the viewers, know that he's a front man.
yeah, yeah. But
That he's
isn't
the
the
O one.
name that isn't the name the same? Young ill, right? Like because it means one player one or something, right?
Something to that point, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Maybe
remember
it's a
that. Because
variation. I think it's a different
Yeah.
name, but
yeah.
it's variation.
So again, Gihon
It's
is
just it's
stupid.
like we established that, so it's like I loved
Like,
it.
wait, your name is also the same name as the last guy? Oh, I don't trust you, man.
But
But
I'm not.
also,
again, again, like Gong Yu, the actor
Mm,
for 001 is so good that like I know like even Bella was like I know you're the bad guy, but you're fucking
I'll
making me
still
like you.
believe
Like
you.
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
like
I mean, even frontman, right? I mean, you get a little bit of the backstory from the brother and all that stuff, and the
yeah.
way he basically embedded himself in the games. Yeah, you. It
And
seems like you'll trust him, but
I
yeah,
I do like the idea that, again, you're right. The way that well, first, we went through the first game. Yes, there's a little bit of debate on how it's
Was
gonna
he
go.
there
People
though in the
start.
first game?
No, he wasn't there in the
He
first
wasn't
game.
there,
he
right?
wasn't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but that's the thing. So, one, it's because like we already know that he's the front man since season one. But the idea of it is like I like the idea that they showed a little bit of resistance in terms of not only the rules of the game, like oh you can really die, but we can kind of have um a portion of the game. So before we get introduced to this particular dude, there was this important level where people were debating whether they were going to continue the games or not.
yeah,
And that's when we get introduced with the front man, because there was a little bit over there that people were kind of like realizing like shit, let's just leave or else we're gonna die.
yeah,
But again, in the first round, we kind of see that the front man kind of started the momentum in terms of like, yeah, maybe let's do just one more game, because right now we only have like 20 grand. We want to get 70 grand, and that'll be great, that'll be
yeah,
different. So I like that little act better, where it's like, he feels it out. Like the front man feels it out,
Yeah.
right?
And
So he doesn't want to
even
be
I
too
even like
into it.
the second part where I don't know if it was the second or the third vote. Oh, I think it was the third vote where Gion wanted another speech,
Yeah.
and the frontman was like, "Dude, stupid! They're just gonna counter, and then you're just gonna lose like the last round." It's like I was
Yeah.
like, if I was like the frontman, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? You're so stupid. I'm forced to sympathize with you and be strategic because you're so fucking stupid. Like
Yeah.
he's even
But
doing
it's
Gion's job. Like the
yeah,
fuck."
but you're right. Just like last year's 001 was this old guy. Maybe well, I know it's very us to doubt that or ask that question, right? Um, but come on, bro. Like, come on. And again, all across. Okay, so we'll power for the next few episodes. So that was like the first game.
Yeah.
The red light, green light introduction of the front man 001 as part of the vote, and then we have the semblance of some group dynamics here. We know a few different groups, like one with Gion, one with the other
Thanos.
different Thanos, one with the other older guy, one
Yeah.
with this particular lady. So it's like we're
Yeah.
getting more and more people. We just don't have enough time for it.
Yeah.
Um, the the next episode though is called Six Legs,
I love this change.
It's
right?
a yeah.
So essentially, uh, the start of this episode is a little bit more exposition around the soldiers within the game's
Mhm.
organ harvest to black
The
market businesses. So this is
Yeah.
yeah, the
secret side
secret.
business.
But this is where we see that guard 011 was kind of like going rogue against other people. Um, he was given the talking to by the lead person who's
The
doing
code
the
red.
yeah
Oh, not
Did you
yet,
the
order
not yet,
code red?
not yet.
uh, right. She was very she was very adamant, like nope,
Well,
I
technically,
was ordered
she went rogue against the rogue agents.
100%,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, because he's like, hey, I was told to kill people, so I'm gonna kill people, right? And then yeah, she was given the code red so that she will kind of like ease off the killing of people and leave
Yeah.
of injured people for harvesting. But the main game here is a pentathlon, so 5 games in one. But the idea of it is like your group needs to be together, tied together, by your feet,
Mm.
walk to different stations so that each one of the person in your 5-person group will play one of 5 children's game
Uh-huh.
under 5 minutes while going through this particular loop, right? Um, so that's kind of like the start and end of the office. Like towards the end, we can see that the people that failed the game, Null didn't sabotage the other soldiers' plans, so
Yeah.
she let a few people live too. So um the next episode 5 is called One More Game. So we continue on with the pentathlon.
I love
Uh
also the small detail where
Yeah.
001 when he close,
Yeah.
he used his right hand when he's a
right hand,
lefty.
but he's left-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. During these games, we see the dynamics of a lot of different groups. Some were supportive, some were not.
Yeah.
Giyun's team with 001 seems to be very together, but yeah, we see that he was trying to
He's
001 was trying
he's
to
tanking. He's
yeah
tanking.
he was just trying to ruffle some feathers because the other cool Easter egg about here too is like he made sure that they were the last group,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, if they did fail and the soldiers killed the other people,
He
nobody
would
would
have
know if
escaped.
he
Yeah.
survived, right?
Yeah.
He just like put on the mask, whatever. So that's good. Um. Then. The after again, a lot of teams didn't survive. The team survived. Giyun allies with a lot of the people that they started their group there,
Yeah,
and then he was starting to kind of like let them know what's happening within.
yeah.
Uh,
Which is funny because the second game was supposed to be Dalgona, but of course he's dumb enough to think that they won't change the game. So,
that's the other thing too. That's the one thing that I
Like
realized.
we
Like
said, he ain't smart.
well,
you,
to be fair, red light, green light was still there. To be
That is true. That is true.
that's the funny. That's one of the few things that I didn't realize that he didn't realize.
fair.
Uh,
Like,
you should not. I mean, like you should never assume that everything will be exactly the
yeah,
same.
you're a ringer, right?
Um, but the important thing about episode 5 is like, despite seeing people multiple deaths, people are still,
Yeah,
um,
because now they're
um,
saying, "Oh well, not a lot of people died, so that's not enough money. I need more."
yeah. So that was the thing. So they were like, that's why the title was One More Game. We're seeing
Yeah,
that like the two, a rift now between people that want to stop and people that want to go, which is kind of
yeah,
like prime for something that will cause a little bit kerfuffle at the end.
yeah.
Um, so they do decide to go through another game, right? So this game is called Mingle, which is basically
This is
an
my favorite
announce.
game.
Yeah, an announcer will announce a certain number of people to be in a group, and they all have to come in, get into a room to be saved, and have
Mm.
everyone who doesn't have a room and in or incorrect number within the room, they get killed. So this was kind of cool because like we're seeing more and more of 001, not necessarily slipping, but it's very very difficult to
Hmm.
keep that keep the
To
sets that you have
set this to tilt the scales and make sure that
Yeah,
he comes out alive. It's hard to
yeah.
set it up.
Plus, you see the betrayals and like,
yeah, that's
I'm gonna push one of your members and I'm gonna take this room,
Yeah, and
or
what sucks here is like it's not just all in one betrayal. Like after that round, you might need him again because
yeah,
you never know the
exactly.
number. So it's like really fucking
Yeah,
with everything.
yeah. That's why it's my favorite game. And plus, of course, Thanos is just dancing. He's high.
yeah, this game really shows you the multiple different struggles, because like it's struggle to keep the group if your group has an odd number.
Yeah.
There are pairs that have been broken up, fucking mom and dad, like fucking kid left his mom to be
Mhm.
saved left his mom, period. We're also seeing like, cheating, stealing better people away.
Yeah.
um
And then there's people like, oh, well, maybe they won't notice. And like, bro, there's cameras inside the room. Like they could count inside the
Yeah, yeah, that's the other that there's again, there's a lot other things that you need to see the dynamic, because they're showing a lot of different
room.
groups and pairs and combinations, right? So like
Yeah.
there's, one of my, favorite girls who's trying to protect this kid that's being bullied, but the guy's being bullied.
Oh,
He's the character I hate the most.
yeah, him. Yeah,
Those
I don't
kinds
like him.
the people who think they're good and want to do good and they don't have it.
He's remember in Saving Private Ryan, Apo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those really burn me.
because at least, like, and she was right. At least Thanos and
Yeah,
Ming-Si,
they
they're
are who they are.
like, how to deal with them. Like, okay, just do what they want, and then, or when you don't need them anymore, get rid of them. But this guy, the little sheep guy, no, you're yeah, you're too much.
And what we see now, so we're continuously doing this mingle game, but on the outside we see that the mercenary group are still trying to kind of like expand their search area. They're using their drones, but we're feeling stuff out here now. It's like, oh, they're either making the mercenary group look evil, or somebody else in that particular outside world look evil as well. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
um Again, so
And how
after,
many islands are there in South Korea? I mean,
there's a lot.
I
I
mean,
mean, I'm
in
sure
two
there's.
years, you couldn't find anything in 2 years.
Well, there's a reason why I never
Well,
found
now
it.
now we know
Yeah,
because the
yeah, but
stupid
uh,
captain is
yeah.
in cahoots.
Yeah. So the next episode, episode 6, is entitled O and X. So um, during the Mingo game, a lot of people had a lot of betrayals, a lot of deaths, a lot of
Mm,
allies have broken. Um, we also see that in the final round of that, player 001 had to kill another person in a room to secure his spot. So
mm,
Gion's best friend kind of saw that because he was the one that was there witnessing it. So he's kind of like sniffing out that something wrong with 001 as well.
yeah.
Um, but um, again, after that game, everybody had another opportunity to vote,
Mm-hmm,
right? So yeah, so what had happened was the vote resulted into a tie,
mm-hmm,
and I think because there is um I think because the game masters knew that this is an opportunity to build a little bit of tension, like of course they put like forks in their snacks for the first time instead
yeah.
of like that was to incite
Yeah,
violence.
because it's kimbap. It's a finger food.
Yeah. But also the idea now here is people are starting to understand who is voting X and who is voting O, who is voting
Mm,
no, who is voting yes.
yeah.
So the tensions are high even in the bathroom. So when, one X group of people tried to bully an O group of people or person to vote, etc., etc. It causes a big fight. Big
Mm,
fight scene ensues. Lots of people died, including Thanos. After Thanos was trying to kind of like choke out cryptocurrency guy.
mm-hmm,
Um, so that was kind of like the night before the next day of more fighting.
yeah.
This episode ends when the mercenary team with the cop with them was able to discover an entrance to an island, but it was
Mm,
booby trapped so that when they opened this little kind of like opening in an island, a couple of the mercenaries were injured and needed to be like chartered off to a
mm,
hospital, right? And that
mm,
brings us to the final episode. I think pretty cool. Right?
mm-hmm,
So we start the episode by seeing that the captain that the cop was traveling all the islands with for the past couple of years, the one that saved him,
mm,
was not necessarily who he was saying he was to be. So he's a double agent. So now I'm
mm.
thinking of the reason why he found the cop, because that cop was the brother of the front man, and the front
Frontman.
man
Yeah.
didn't want to kill his brother. So
Mm,
he had this ferryman make sure that he'll be able to
Get
save
him.
him. But we see that the
Or he
captain
could
was
just also just be there because he's part of them.
true.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, but we can see that the captain was like tinkering with the drone, killed the person that saw him tinkering with the drone, and then this is kind of like where this storyline is like we know that the captain is bad now. What's gonna happen next? Um, Continuing with the massacre, the midnight brawl of the last night. Gi Hun and his team was able to devise a plan where they're gonna play a little bit of possum, because the next day when the guards come in and take them, they can kind of like hide behind the dead bodies and whatnot, or hide under the mattresses and kind of jump. These guards get their guns and they can start the rebellion, which for the
This one,
to
another fucking stupid
Stupid
plan.
idea.
Sacrifice most of the people that he was trying to save for a chance to get
I
some
think,
guns and then go to a place that you don't have any clue works and
yeah.
find the control center and end it like
I think if he was trying to recruit frontman, he's like, "Oh, that is a stupid plan. All right, I'm back to being frontman again."
like what the fuck.
Because that's dumb. Because I do like frontman's idea. Attack the O's first, so that you get the numbers, right? Because that's the plan. Because after the bathroom brawl, they had the lead, but of course now they know that the O's will attack them to get either tie or win, right? So I like the plan. Attack them first, kill enough of them, and then come out the next day. But Gihun decided it's like, oh, you know what? It's a perfect chance to get a rebellion.
What if there's more
You know
guns
what?
than
All the
they
people
thought
that
it
I'm
would
trying to
be?
save, fuck you.
Fuck them
Let's
kids.
fuck them kids. Let's the us who's gonna survive. Let's
Plus,
just fuck it.
plus. Okay, so you got your guns, and those are the dead soldiers. You didn't do a thorough search. You forgot that they have pockets, that they could have extra magazines.
It's
That was
Gion,
one
man.
thing too, but
In
I
an
mean that
in another story, that would have been a plot hole, but it's Gion.
yeah,
So like,
or why not wear the uniforms to make it harder for them to be tracked?
oh.
Because the trans soldier, he shot up or she shot up the cameras already, right? So ideally there's no more eyes in the room, so technically they could have used a couple of those soldiers uniforms to blend in. But
I love her
uh,
character.
oh, I like her.
The special
Even the
forces.
backs.
very. I, mean, I
Yeah,
think a lot of I do like that a lot of characters that we see in season two are not just like
Yeah, but that's
that
what I was
strong.
saying. Like, that's the well, that was like the the slow build. Like at first, it like because like in season one, as soon as you met most of the characters, you love the Ali,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah,
girl.
yeah,
Here it took a while because like, but I like the characterization because like even the mom and the son. Like at
yeah,
first, like the son was like, "Fuck you! You're putting your mom in danger, motherfucker!" But then
yeah,
he turned around and like he
yeah,
got greedy for a while. But then at the end,
yeah,
at least he did the right thing. So
yeah.
opposite to the guy that we hate, the bullied kid
The, the
who
sheep kid, yeah,
yeah. So and then the special forces, like she was badass. And
yeah.
then like Gion, man, like fucking plan. Oh no, you fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
This is the only thing you can do. After everything, like the 3 games you've been trying to save everybody, like just fuck him. Which can also be also understandable, right? Because like he's been trying to save them for 4 votes, and they keep fucking it up. So like, oh fuck him.
that
But these
I
are the
like the
people that.
frustration, but also it's like when I was watching that, like man, 001 is like pushing the right buttons.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just like poking a little bit. Oh,
It was
Are
so
you
good.
sure that we're going to keep the numbers or
It
yeah,
was so good. I loved it.
but yeah,
but so that was again. So what had happened was like they were able to um uh kind of like stay hidden during this like group fight. Then we're able to jump the soldiers and be able to take control with a lot of their guns and ammunition, and we're able to kind of like push forward knowing that we have a couple of people that are in the Marines. Now I realize that the trans person also was like an awesome sniper. um so they went through a contingent to get to the control room. Lots of fights happening within the control room as well, so we can skip all of that part. But a little bit of an honorable mention where one of the Marines was assigned to when they figured out that there were
Well,
magazines
mm,
within other within all the jumpsuits of the soldiers. So he was tasked to get more ammo because the rebels were running low and were getting covered. But in the end, Dehu was the one that was kind of like had PTSD in terms of that, was not able
yeah,
to come back.
that was understandable. I
um
liked it. I liked how they did
yeah,
it.
and that one's understandable.
Like
and
some
then
people are just not built for like intense
Yeah,
maybe
situations.
that's why he's in that thing in the first place and not
Yeah, yeah,
continuous
agreed.
yeah,
military stuff. But we also find that Giyun and his best friend wanted to push a little bit forward. Of course, 001 and the guys that's trying to help out actually kind of um, took a couple of other people, killed him in cold blood, pretended that he was dead as well so that he could capture Giyun and Jumbei. And instead of and 001 was able to do that, but
Yeah.
instead of killing Gi-hun, he still wants to play with his food. So instead of killing Gi-hun, he killed Jung-bae instead right in front of him. And
Mm.
then now we have a little bit of kind of like a
Cliffhanger.
mid credit scene flashing to future games, which I didn't realize when
What?
during my first watch. There's a
No,
end credit scene.
it's just the Squid Girls, the Squid Games
Robot,
robot girl
Oh, okay.
finding
Okay.
a robot boyfriend.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's
it's just
just,
like
it's just
it's an image of a possible future game and a couple of contestants still. So we kind of assume like, all right, oh fuck, this is part one. Oh, the games are gonna continue. So that's kind of like where we end here. So
so
that
just for one thing that not nitpick but like something I'm looking forward to solve is like the frontman has been amazing for the whole season,
Mm.
but it's looking like he turned generic super villain at the end where he gives chance to the hero by killing the best friend but not Gihun. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
see what reason is that, because that's obviously going to give Gion the chance to turn the tables. When
Mm-hmm.
instead of monologuing, he should have just shot Gion. So let's see how that pans out. But dramatically, like fuck yeah, it was heart devastating to see his best friend. Uh,
yeah.
That's two friends that died in front of him,
oh
Mhm.
yeah,
right?
and this one probably hurts more because this one is all because of his fucking stupid plan.
Yeah.
At least the first one wasn't really his fault.
Yeah. Well, the first one was a smart one. He's the one that actually should have won.
Mhm. That is true.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Um, well, that's our Squid Game season two
mm.
deep dive. Uh, let's go round table. Last few words and rating. We'll start with you, Arns.
I'll rate this a 9 out of 10 because it lost a point because of the cliffhanger aspect. I just wish that it was like a also like a standalone season. Um, but yeah, I mean, it took me a while to finish because it's very violent, and my kid is starting to watch TV and all that, so I had to be very sneaky when watching this. Um, but yeah, it's a good character development. I mean, at least it's not immediately after season one. It's like it's 2 years after. Star Wars, listen up. That's you could give like a time jump a little bit. Um, but obviously the next season will be immediately after this rebellion thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see if the cop will be able to find the island, or what Gion's end game was, or the front man, and will we see the the cartoon characters from season one again? I don't know, because that's also what's missing in season two. But actually, don't miss them. I don't like them. That's the part in season one that I really hated, the big cats, right? But I think that should be part of the plan to end the games, is for them, those rich people, to be killed off too. So
At
we'll
some
see.
point, right?
Yeah.
I have my own, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and the thing is, don't know if Frontman knows about the side gig that the other soldiers are
I think
doing.
he the way he
Probably
should.
tolerated.
He should, the way how smart they're making him look. He should, but
Yeah,
he's like letting it go. But then
yeah,
in
yeah,
actuality, we don't. We'll see. But I think the way they're writing it, he's letting it slide.
yeah. Because the thing is, like the whole like dropping off the coffin before burning it, it takes resources to do that. And I don't think you could
Mm.
just do that without the knowledge of the top
Mm.
management. But we'll see, we'll see. So yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, it's a like I said, it's a good season two. I mean, of course, season one is a classic, but yeah, and I don't know, is the games going to continue or something else? So we'll see.
I think with the post credit, like with Jong said,
Yeah, well,
they're
at
gonna.
least this one, right? So, Chubax, what's your rating?
For me, I'll go with a high. 8 because I think if I would have graded first one, it was a 9. So it's
Mm.
gonna be just like a little. I would have given it a 9 as well if it wasn't if it was season 2 part 1. I just got caught
Yeah,
off guard by the how they cut it. But
yeah.
yeah, I loved it. Loved how they didn't change it up with Gion. Like he's dumb, so he's still dumb. So that was like perfect
He
because I would have really gotten pissed
like he
if
he didn't become a genius in two
yeah he
years.
suddenly like
He
no
became
way
Batman.
yeah. So yeah, cause like that's what somebody dumb would do. Like he has money, you just find somebody to look everywhere. Like there's no plan, there's no like insight or
It's brute force,
creativity.
man.
Like oh my god, so.
You could have just bought cameras and put it in the train
Yeah, it doesn't.
stations or
Not
something.
even in the bank. The money is just like in the fucking bed where he showed it to
Yeah.
everybody. Like, what the fuck, man? But
And then he
yeah,
showed it to everybody. So now like, oh
yeah.
well, okay, now he's trapped now. So let's just get his money and
Yeah.
buy.
Okay.
That's
I
dumb.
even thought like I thought the special forces guys were gonna turn on him or something.
Yeah, that was the thing too.
Yeah,
But I like that there's honor among thieves. So it's like, all
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah. I too am giving it like a very, very high 8 because it is again, I wasn't let down. I
Mm-hmm.
had I managed my expectations. They didn't ruin the franchise because it would have
yeah,
been super easy to kind of like, yeah, right, make him Batman. And then he was able
Yeah,
to,
that was what I was worried for.
so I like that there were still a few things that surprised me, particularly the guards, right? The
uh,
perspective of the guards.
the code
Um,
red.
yeah, I do like I think the personalities within the contestants is always going to be key in terms of any series that will be doing something like this, like a social experiment kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that they were able to. Yeah, there are tropes. There are classic tropes
yeah,
here. You have the druggy guy, the bully, the mom, the son. There's a lot of classic tropes, but they weren't. They gave him a little twist, so it
yeah,
wasn't super duper basic. So I
yeah,
really, really enjoy that. So,
yeah.
um, of course, again, I really wish that we could have just like seen the entire season, but I totally understand. I'm glad that they're not gonna do 2 years in between seasons though. So if it
Exactly.
comes out in the summer, even better. Right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking fall, maybe.
yeah,
But if it did come out summer, like even better because of the
yeah.
wait's not gonna be long because I think we're gonna be able to finish that.
So,
So
like,
yeah.
remind me, in season one, how long did it take before they started killing each other? Like within the third
Same
night,
like
right?
episode 4. So
Episode four. Yeah,
yeah.
because I was
No,
thinking, because episode
there
one,
was a night also where
they
they
just
there
killed each other, right?
yeah there was a
Yeah.
night they set it up like
Yeah, because
the front man set it up. They give
yeah, because
them the dark the blackout.
because the thing is in season one, because there's a criminal that's just a murderer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I could make the money more. Yeah, this one it took longer for them to kill each other because I don't know, maybe they're not murderers this time.
No, because I think it's because you can share it, so it's harder to like
Ah, yeah, they could share it.
kill each other because like we can share it if we get let's just get less, so you
Yeah.
don't
Let's
have to
get
get your
out
hands
that.
dirty because
Yeah,
the games will
because the
do it
thing
for
is,
us as long as we survive the games.
yeah,
They're gonna die.
yeah, because this time the motivation is, well, we want to keep playing, so let's kill the people that
Yes,
want
yes.
to leave.
So
Okay,
that's how
all
they
right,
twist it. So it's really smart. So I like
it's
how
smart. Yeah,
yeah everything's smart except but then again, I appreciate that because not everybody's gonna be fucking smart, and
yeah. Well, I mean, Master Soul. He made a mistake. He couldn't tell which one is which, and he got killed.
there we go, there we go.
Oh,
Uh,
are you gonna watch the hot ones with the frontman and player 456?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna watch this after this.
is it out already?
It's out.
no,
Well,
Oh
at least,
yeah.
a long time
yeah,
ago,
yeah. It's like a week ago or half
a
a
couple of
few
weeks
days
ago.
ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
Yeah.
haven't
yeah,
seen it.
3 weeks ago.
yeah.
All right. Well, that is our Squid Game season 2 discussion. Thank you very much again. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, youtube.com /plus63HP. Follow us on wherever you listen to podcasts. So just search +63HP and watch us when we stream on Twitch. We'll see you guys in all of our other shows next time. On behalf of Chubax and Arnie, see you next time.
Bye bye.
And peace, 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 peace.